President, you have not had a public campaign event for nearly a week now. Tomorrow you'll be in Montana, which is not a swing state. Some of your allies have expressed concern that you're not taking this race seriously, particularly at a time where there is enthusiasm on the other side. Why haven't you been campaigning this week?
Because I'm leading by a lot, and because I'm letting their convention go through. And I am campaigning a lot. I'm doing tremendous amounts of taping here. We have commercials that are at a level I don't think that anybody's ever done before. Plus, in certain cases, I see many of you in the room where I'm speaking to you on phones, I'm speaking to radio, I'm speaking to television. Television's coming over here. Excuse me, what are we doing right now? She's not doing any news conference. You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how to do a news conference. She's not smart enough to do a news conference. And I'm sorry, we need smart people to lead this country, because our country's never been in this danger before.
The criticism has been about your vice presidential pick and his leading the National Guard at 24 years. Vance said that he deserted his own troops for his own colleagues. What's your take on that?
Listen, I praise anyone who has presented themselves to serve our country. And I think that we all should.
As you saw from the intro, Trump is going in. Trump is, this energy that I'm seeing from Trump, it reminds me a lot of 2016, honestly. And I think him going back to kind of what made, and it's not the same as 2016. I think it's more refined. It's more, a little bit more disciplined. He took, I think, questions for 75 minutes, about an hour and 15 minutes, which is unheard of. And everyone seems to like the fact that Donald Trump opened a press conference at Mar-a-Lago and was taking questions about anything, to the point that people are now questioning Kamala Harris and be like, yo, why aren't you doing this, Kamala Harris? And this is something that people have been pointing out for a long time, but I guess all it takes is contrast. There's a strange spectacle that just played out on national TV. One of the major party nominees for president stood out on a microphone for an hour, calling on people called journalists who asked questions of their choosing on a wide variety of subjects, and he answered them. Now, as you saw from the intro, I also put a clip of Kamala Harris talking to reporters for the first time, and she proceeded to dodge questions. And I think that one of the things I warn about, especially with my fellow Americans within the sound of my voice, is I say, yo, if we reward this party for skipping out on debates or not answering questions that the American people might have, yo, we're opening ourselves up for a lot of problems, right? So in this next clip I'm about to show you, Donald Trump has announced that he is willing to have a debate with Kamala Harris. He named 3 debates, and I'll let you see the clip of that, and then we'll follow up after the clip. Let's take a look.
It's very important to have debates, and we've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC, fairly full agreement, subject to them, on September 10th. And we've agreed with ABC on September 25th. So we have those 3 dates, and those networks, they're very anxiously awaiting that date and those dates. So we have September 4th, September 10th, and September 25th. We have spoken to the heads of the network, and it's all been confirmed. I think.
So just to make sure we all heard the same thing, Donald Trump challenged her to 3 debates. He's hosting 3 debates, one on September 4th, 5th, and I believe on the 25th or 10th. I don't remember. Sorry if I don't remember. I'm going off the top of my head. But breaking, Kamala Harris appears to bow out of 2 out of the 3 debates Donald Trump challenged her to. Team Harris has accused Trump of chickening out of a debate, but it appears that Harris is afraid to do more than one debate. Trump challenged Harris to 3 debates. However, Harris is the only one accepting 1. I hear that Donald Trump has finally committed to debating me on September 10th. He did more than this, that, Kamala Harris. Trump proposed dates. There you go, 25th. Yeah, so I was kind of right. So let's hear her in her own words and her reaction to the news. And it seemed like she's really dead set on the NBC debate. So I don't know what's going on there. She probably feels fairly confident. Maybe she thinks it's friendly territory. Who knows? But to me, it looked like she's chickening out on this. I don't know about you. Like, someone challenged me to 3 debates, and I only accept 1, the one I've been asking for since the entire campaign. I'm gonna feel some type of way about that. I'm not gonna think that you are up for the task of debating. And we know talking off the teleprompter is not her strongest suit, but I digress.
Madam Vice President, Donald Trump agreed to 3 debates. Will you be participating in all 3?
I've always been on record. I am looking forward to debating Donald Trump, and we have a date of September 10th. I hear he is finally committed to it.
Yeah, so she's gonna pretend that, oh, we always agreed on that date. No, no. He agreed on that date with Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris, right? So this line of attack I think, has been really working on this fact that she is not genuine to me. Like, I don't understand how people fall for it, but hey, I digress, right? So we're gonna continue reacting to some clips. One of the clips that I seen going around making the rounds is Trump saying that he's gonna cut taxes on tips, and this was during his little press conference. And this is the contrast that I think I want to highlight between Trump and Kamala, is that Kamala's not running on any policy positions. I think the only policy position she's comfortable announcing is her stances on abortion. But any other issue, you don't even get an idea of what she's about. And it highlights something that I point out about Kamala Harris, is that she seems like she wants to walk in this arbitrary or this ideological vagueness, so you can't pin her down on anything to avoid criticism, because vagueness is what you use to avoid criticism, right? And I think this is what Kamala Harris' strategy is, and I think Donald Trump is creating a great contrast by just being out in the front and say, "Hey, look, this is my position. This is what I'm gonna do for you."
They're going to destroy Social Security. I am going to leave Social Security. I'm not raising the years. I'm not raising the age. I will be saving Social Security, and I'm going to work it out that there's no tax on Social Security for seniors. I'm also doing no tax on tips. No tax on tips. So waiters, waitresses, caddies, people that drive cars, people that get tips who have been harassed by this government, we're going to have no tax on tips. That's a big thing. They're going to destroy Social Security.
It is a big thing, and this is something these people need to like realize, is that the fact, and Trump's always his usual style, but it's the fact that the media has not given any pushback to Kamala Harris. Hey, Kamala Harris, you've been avoiding the media. Why is that? Donald Trump claims you're scared to talk to the media. Why is that? Like, they don't ask for any questions, bro. And it keeps breathing, and it's playing a good part, because the sentiment is already what people felt. Because when Trump made his really big cultural push, is when he called out the media as fake news, and that sentiment is still here. Actually, it's grown even more so in 2024, and the media they can't help themselves. It's like you ask a Democrat journalist, are you a Democrat or you're a journalist first? And that's a question I think that the journalist needs to answer, because it seemed like they were going to be Democrats first, journalists second. And a journalist will not accept that someone was ducking them. Like, imagine the question they asked Donald Trump in the intro of this video. Oh, some people are scared that you're not taking this race seriously because you took a week off campaigning. Did you forget the rest of the week that he was campaigning out there? He got his VP campaigning out there. He's taking questions. He's doing ads. And you want to question his worth ethic, but he's like, what are we doing now? Calling it out. It's like, yo, mainstream media, your bias is blinding you. And this is my biggest problem with the mainstream media. Y'all not consistent. Y'all don't give any lip to Kamala Harris for avoiding you for almost 2 weeks, about to be 3 weeks. But Donald Trump missed a week and you're on his neck. Come on, guys. Come on. But I digress. I want to show you guys another clip of him just, being his usual self. And this kind of thing, I think, is what really is going to drive Donald Trump home.
Florida's abortion ballot referendums. Would you support?
Would you repeat that question, please?
I can speak
You have
up.
to speak up.
Yes, sir. I said
It's
you.
a hard room because it's very big, if you know. This is worth $18 million. Oh, I see.
I said you. Florida's abortion ballot referendums.
So if you understand what he was saying, he said, it's very hard to hear in this room. It's a very big room. And he looked, apparently it's only worth $18 million. Hey, this is vintage Trump right here, man. I think this is gonna play well. I think his criticisms of Kamala Harris are landing, especially the one about her identity, which I will play later in this clip. But I just want to just give you some of the clips from his hour-long press conference, essentially.
But the fact that you can get no votes, lose in the primary system, in other words, you had 14 or 15 people, she was the first one out, and that you can then be picked to run for president, it seems to me actually unconstitutional.
Those line of attacks, y'all gotta Harris got to answer those. Those are like people have legitimate criticisms for Kamala Harris, and the fact that she's doing this. Oh, if you criticize me, you a racist, you a sexist. It ain't gonna work, bro. In 2024, those words lost their power, right? And this is one of the reasons why I think Kamala Harris is scared to debate. Kamala gets caught using deceptive methods to create her fake crowd size. Apparently, a lot of her crowd pictures are AI generated, allegedly, the fraud. Wall still steals valor, still hasn't been able to answer direct questions, even when the media is backing up Wall, saying, yeah, he served this country, but he didn't serve it the way he said he served it. That's the thing. That's the criticism that JD Vance has of him. Can't answer it. Joe Biden threatens to take his position back. You're funny. Kamala files under Biden's personal candidate ID, which is fraud. And CNN calls Walt central casting. You can't make this up. I've never looked more forward to a DNC in my life. What a train wreck. I said wreck. So I don't know if you we don't need to hear this guy, but this is some of the things that I think Trump can really hammer home during the debates, and I think this is why she only wants to do one debate. She wanted to do her one debate. She said, "Look, I did it, done," and I don't think she'll ever have a debate again. So I think Donald Trump should assume that's the only debate he's going to have with her, and he got to be on his A game on that one, because the media seems hell bent on painting Kamala Harris as a victim, as a messiah, they're gonna paint her at the best light that they can, and they're gonna paint Trump at the worst light that they can. And I think that's how Trump should move accordingly. And I think he did well in the Joe Biden debate. I think he's gonna have to come more on policy, because I think what Trump did on the press conference, it was all about policy. I know they sprinkled in, oh, you challenged you questioned this person's valor, you questioned this person's identity, but for the most part, it was a substantive discussion, right? And the pushback that JD Vance got for, oh, you guys are questioning her race, which is a bunch of baloney. In this next clip I'm about to show you, JD Vance, in his own words, is going to explain to you why exactly they bring up the biracial point, and I think is a good point. And that it's something I referenced before. Is to highlight how much of a faker she is, or a chameleon. Let's take a look.
I was at the National Association of Black Journalists conference last
Yes,
week,
sir.
where President Trump made some attacks on Vice President Harris's biracial heritage. You're married to an Indian American woman. You have biracial children. How do you explain his attacks, and what is your reaction to his attacks as a father of biracial children?
Yes, sir.
So I am the father of biracial children. Actually, my wife is here today, though my kids are back home with my aunt today. And look, I was not bothered at all by what President Trump said, and I didn't take it as an attack on Kamala Harris's biracial background at all. What I took it as was an attack on Kamala Harris being a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing when she's in front of one audience. She pretends to be something else when she's in front of another audience. And I think he was observing the basic foundational reality that Kamala Harris pretends to be something different depending on which audience she's speaking to. Now, she has been able to hide this a little bit because for the past couple of weeks, she only speaks in front of a teleprompter. She never gives unscripted remarks, and she's hidden from the American media and from the American people. But we know she's a chameleon. We know she's a person who promised to defund the police and now wants to pretend she's a tough prosecutor. She said that she would be our border czar, and yet for 3.5 years, we have an open border. She said that she would bring some common sense and lower inflation to our economic policies, and yet she cast the deciding vote that raised interest rates, raised home prices, and raised food prices. Donald Trump said something very simple, totally inoffensive, but frankly, obviously true to me, which is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She's a fake, and the American people have to look at her record if we actually want to know how she stands on the issues, because her words simply can't be trusted.
Yep. I mean, I don't detect no lie, right? And some people are gonna be like, oh, how can you fake your race? It's not like, no, you lead it, like, you fake your race the minute you only claim you're one. That's how I see it. Right? If you want, and even the black part of it is questionable because her father stated that he is not black. Hey, let's ask for your birth certificate, Kamala Harris, and see what your father says on there. Judge Brown apparently says that it says Caucasian. That's Judge Brown who said that. But there's questions about even that, right? The same way people have questions about Tim Walz's military record, what his actual position was. He wasn't a commander sergeant, he was a master sergeant because he didn't complete the necessary requirements to actually be promoted. He was up for promotion, but didn't go through the process before he retired out of the military. But he's embezzling his stories, exaggerating his stories. Oh, I went to war with these weapons. No, you never been at a war. Oh, I served for, I hold weapons of war. Sure, but you didn't go in a war. You wasn't in a war zone, combat area zone. And this is the things that the games that the Democrats team wants to play. They want to play word games, right? Instead of giving us, say, okay, what you actually stand for, give us your pitch. Their pitch is, we're not Trump, but you're frauds, all of you, both of you. Both of your candidates are frauds. Crazy. One's running on a false perception of his military record. Another one's code switching depending on what audience she is. When she's addressing Palestine protesters, she's talking her normal monotone voice. And then when she's talking to black people, we gonna handle that. Like, come on, she's fake, right? But these are the people who her supporters are gonna try to gaslight you to vote for her because she's apparently a black person. Okay. I don't believe in the one drop rule. So she ain't black. She never gonna be black to me. She's always gonna be just a biracial woman. If she claims she's Indian, she's lying. If she claims she black, she lying. You biracial. That's it. And your mix is Indian, Jamaican. I ain't gonna say you're black, right? That's it. It's simple. That's exactly what it is. But the media is going to sit here play cover up for her. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Do you think Donald Trump did a good job hosting this press conference? I think it helped him a lot, in my eyes anyway. I don't know about you guys. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.